Kleros is a kind of cross-discipline endeavor encompassing like economics, law, mathematics, business. And well, William, besides being the head of the researcher who is studying the voting system and the incentive system, he's also our director of research. And so we want now to just tell you a bit about a program we have. It's called the Kleros Fellowship of Justice. That is a 3 to 6 month remote program where like participants like, can work with members of the team, having a one-on-one mentorship, like, and researching some topic that they are interested in, like of course about Kleros. And we, of course, they produce a report or some piece of research, and we then give this lots of social media attention and love, so everyone can read it. And of course, participants are going to be recognized as pioneers in this fascinating field of decentralized justice, and they get this very nice certificate. Let me give this to William so he can tell you a bit more about the 4 tracks of the program.
Yeah, so there are different kinds of research that one can do as a fellow with Kleros and Kleros in general. So one can sort of study the decentralized applications we're launching. We, as Clement sort of gave an overview earlier, we have different kinds of applications that are doing different things based on the sort of core of Kleros providing dispute resolution. And a fellow might participate in writing code for applications, but also like doing code reviews and coming up with interesting tests if they have like ways of providing tests and like verifying the good functioning of the applications, finding bugs and vulnerabilities. So these are more sort of like developer sort of questions. One might also look into kinds of the research questions, like the kind of research that I do and that I was discussing in my previous talk. So again, these questions of like how to make Kleros resistant to attacks, how to more like improve models, have better models for sort of our juror utility, for example, and ultimately make Kleros more robust, more efficient, and resistant to various attacks. Again, better voting mechanisms, better juror incentives. So there's lots of research here and lots of small questions, big and small, that could be fit into these boxes. There are sort of business development kinds of questions. Like we've touched on some issues already today about like what kinds of disputes would Kleros be good at. You know, we don't expect Kleros to be good at like every dispute. It's not. I wouldn't like use Kleros for something that's worth like hundreds of millions of dollars, where I could use like a traditional court in like a well-established rule of law country. But there are these, you know, sort of like what disputes would Kleros be good at? And we've talked about it being used for these sort of low-hanging, like freelancer disputes. What other things would be appropriate? And ultimately, this sort of comes with an imagination of like knowledge of dispute resolution in a variety of industries that might go beyond the knowledge of our team. So if a fellow has an idea of like, I know this like weird use case somewhere, and Kleros would be perfect to resolve it, like this is the kind of thing that a fellow might study. Which industries are more likely to have high adoption, etc. And then there are interesting questions in law. So there are questions about how Kleros would interact with the existing law and regulatory world. Like what status would a court in different jurisdictions give to a Kleros ruling, if any. But also questions about like what, you know, like in what is Kleros fair? Like, what does it mean to be a fair dispute resolution system? Like how does that? What is the fact that we use blockchain and crowdsourcing mean about our fairness, and like, could it be more fair? There are questions here that could be explored. So I'll hand it back to Federico.
So just for you to know, some of the fellows that participate in the program, you have Dimitri Narozny, and he studied about how is Kleros compliant with the New York Convention arbitration clauses. So you would like that one, because he actually studied that. And he says that it complies with the New York Convention in most things. Abir Sharma, he's a arbitration lawyer from the UK, from Queen Mary University, and he's expert in energy disputes. And he wrote a paper on how you can use Kleros for long-term energy disputes, where you have to define like a fair price between like two big, like an oil producer and an oil like buyer. This is a really thorough work he did about a field he knows a lot. Mauricio Duarte, he's from Guatemala, and he's studied how you can use some Kleros resolution system for kind of small microgrid disputes happening in these energy networks. Elliot is from the US, and he studied the use of Kleros for labor certification, like does this farm complies or doesn't comply with some number of requisites for some certification for good fair labor. Julieta, she's from Argentina, and she studied the use. This is I don't see this as a low-hanging fruit, but she studied how you could use potentially some version of Kleros for having some disputes solved in family courts. She's a lawyer from Argentina. And Saile and Flavio, they are from Sao Paulo, and they are studying the use of Kleros in construction disputes. So they are very close to some construction companies there, and they have lots of disputes, and they think that Kleros can be much cheaper, a much faster method than what exists now in the construction industry. So these are some of them, but there are more. We have so far 2 batches of fellows. There's people from Berkeley, from Stanford, or from the University of Moscow. There you go. And you can also be a fellow if you want, if you're interested in some of the research we are doing. You can apply for the fellowship. The fellowship, the 3rd batch, actually is opening right now. So you can now go into the website and apply to do the fellowship in one of these tracks. And if you want to know a bit more about how this looks like, we brought one of the fellows of the 1st batch, Tian, who flew from Canada. I'm so happy you're here. Come and tell us a bit about the research you did about legal design and Kleros. Okay? Okay.
Sure.
Cool. Wait a second, I have to mic you.
Sure.
First met him like today in person, you know.